So, from The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, we will now go to Disney Plus's rival, Netflix, with their new big show, The Witcher. And we're going to get out of spoilers here. We're going to get out of spoilers, so don't go away. We're going to get out of spoilers here. All right. Here we go. So, yeah, I'm not really going to go too heavy into spoilers. Because the last thing I have to say about the show, I don't think I really need to spoil. If I do, I will once again put up the spoiler warning for anybody watching, so you don't miss anything. But anyway, let's get into this. So, The Witcher stars Henry Cavill, who most people know as the movie Superman. He plays Geralt of Rivia. He is a Witcher. Basically, he is a magical mutant, or he's that's how he's described, that he's some kind of mutation. And he's not the only one of his kind. There are other Witchers. He wasn't the only Witcher, and there's plenty of it. Basically, his character is he goes from town to town finding if killing monsters for local people. He kills a monster, they pay him, he moves on to the next town. That's his life. And it's all in this, magical fantasy world where you got monsters, you got mages, wizards, other creatures, it's sword and sorcery, all that stuff. And before I go any further, I want to let everyone know I've not read the Witcher books, nor have I played the Witcher video game. So I went into this show with very, very fresh perspective. I have no positive or negatives going into it. All I knew is I was interested because I want to see Henry Cavill, prosper as an actor, because I think, he could have been a great Superman, but the writing and directing of his movies suck. So I want to see what this guy can do. Anyway, so yeah, Geralt, he's a bit of an outcast. He's needed in this world. There are monsters in this world, and somebody needs to slay them and kill them. And The Witcher, he's really damn good at it because he has some supernatural powers. I won't get into one in case you haven't seen the series yet, but he's not like overly powerful. He has a few tricks that give him an upper hand in fighting monsters, and he's been doing it for a long time. By the time we meet the character, it is indicated that he's been a monster hunter / killer / slayer for a very long time at this point. He's a total pro. He's a veteran. But he is an outcast because even though he serves a purpose in society, because he is a mutant, a lot of people don't like him. Some of these people, they don't like him, but they'll pay him. So they're like, they use him to get rid of a monster, but otherwise, they're not going to invite him over for dinner. So that is something that Geralt has to deal with, and you can tell he's just kind of like, he doesn't like it, but this is the world he lives in. This is how he makes his money. He just kind of deals with it. He doesn't really like making friends or anything, and you can see that that's part of him because he's so used to being an outcast and being rejected by people. He does have trouble making connections, whether it be friendly or romantic, because he's not used to people like actually wanting to talk to him or having him around. So when he does meet certain people that want to stick around with him, whether they have an interest in him for one reason or another, it's something kind of like weird and foreign to him. He has a bad attitude. He's definitely kind of the brooding hero type. But he does have his own philosophy. There's like one line I've heard. I'm sure you've seen in the trailer, where he's talking about the lesser of two evils, and he's like, lesser, greater, it's all the same. To him, evil's evil, and he's going to take it out. And we do see that he does have a distinction between evil and not evil, as there are points throughout the series where somebody wants to hire him to kill something, and he says, no, that thing is not evil, it's not a monster, it's just a not human, I'm not going to take it out. So he does have his own morality, where some people, and it makes sense. It makes sense for his character because a lot of people see him as a monster. So, and as someone who kills monsters, he knows the difference between what is a monster and what, no, this is just like a fairy tale creature. It doesn't hurt anybody. We don't have to touch it or whatever. And he's a good businessman. Throughout the season we see this other Witcher, who was also a monster hunter, and they have a very steep price, but his price is reasonable. He doesn't, he's like, I'm a reasonable price. I'm not going to ask for too much money, just enough. So I like that. I like that. Even he has his own morality, but he also, he's got good business ethic, I guess you could say. Now, as you can see up here on the poster over here, these are the other two main characters of the series. We have Yennefer over here in the black. She is a mage. And Yennefer, she's an interesting character. She really is. She's played by, I want to make sure I'm reading this right, Anya Chilatra. Anya Chilatra. I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. Jennifer she's a mage and a pretty good one too. We see her story from beginning to end, where she starts out as basically a nobody, a reject, much like Geralt, and we see her, her progress from learning sorcery and whatnot and things like that. And the themes of her character, and this is something a theme that is dealt with a lot in the series, is a themes of definitely how women are treated in our society. How I feel like that's definitely there. Some people might see it, some people don't. That's what I saw through Yennefer and how she had to rise from a nobody to someone of prominence and power and status. That's what I got out of her character, and her actress does play things very well. From when she's like weak and fragile when we first meet her, to as she starts to gain strength, and some of the regrets she has, and the way she feels about how certain people treated her through her life. There's a lot going on with this character. And then, of course, we also got the other main character, over here. We have Ciri, played by Freya Allan. Who surprisingly, Freya in the show, Ciri is I think she's supposed to be like 11 or 12 years old, something like that. But Freya Allan was actually 17 at the time of filming. I think she's 18 right now. So, and which cleared up something, because I remember seeing pictures online of them at like the premiere of the show or some kind of big Witcher event, and I was like, why is this 12-year-old dressed like she's in her early 20s? It's like, oh no, she's actually a lot older than she is. So I was like, oh, okay, that confused me. But anyway, Ciri's plot is, and she's the other subplot or B plot of the show, is that she is a princess, and this invading army is coming at her kingdom, and she has to escape because the army just basically comes in, attacks her kingdom, and she has to survive. And she's let out. The queen, her grandmother, has to get her out of the town, and she has her head sorcerer and and Ciri's bodyguard get her out of there. And that's the thing. It's her trying to survive, and she's told that she has to find the Witcher. She has to find Geralt. And I think I'm pronouncing that name right. I want to say Geralt. I'm going to say Geralt. Geralt of Rivia. Or Geralt? Oh, God, I'm so bad at this name. Anyway. So her part of her journey is she has to survive, and she goes through a lot, and she has to find the Witcher. She has to get him. Apparently that is her destiny or something, to find this guy. So we see that going throughout. Now, all these actors have done, I think, that gave good performance in the show. Henry Cavill, I really like him as Geralt. When he's on screen as the Witcher, I'm into it. I like what's going on. I like his battles. I like how we see how he handles each monster, how he handles the people that's hiring him. Because often not a lot of people that hire him to take out these monsters are jackasses themselves, which, throws up, the world isn't black and white. Things aren't evil. He handles things accordingly. He still handles it with the brooding hero attitude thing. But yeah, so props to Henry Cavill. Freya Allan and Anya Chilatra also do a good job as Ciri and Yennefer. Yennefer gets a ton of attention in this series, and that leads me to one of my first problems in the show. Once again, Yennefer as a character is interesting, and her journey has a lot of cool stuff going on. But technically, she's supposed to be the subplot / B plot, whereas Henry Cavill in The Witcher and his storyline are supposed to be the main storyline, the A plot. But very often, I feel like, and sometimes with the Ciri, the princess's subplot here. I feel like they're fighting the A plot for dominance. There's definitely throughout, in multiple episodes, where I feel like there's over focus on Yennefer and Ciri's plots, where it's taking away from The Witcher, because The Witcher is, once again, I haven't read the books, I haven't played the video games, so I don't know. Maybe if I had, I'd understand this better. But I was definitely confused at certain moments, because I was like, isn't this show about The Witcher? We seem to be spending certain episodes. We seem to be spending a lot of time. Way too much time with these other side plots. And once again, it's not like they're uninteresting. Well, I'll say this. I'll say Ciri's subplot, the princess subplot, is probably the least interesting out of the three plots we got going here. But it still has its moments. Though I think what's wrong with it is there's some confusing points to it, where I'm not completely sure about what this is or what's going on. I think that's what holds that one back. But yeah, it's weird. And once again, it's not like these other plots don't have their strong points, but it's just sometimes I feel like throughout the course of the show they wanted Yennefer to be the main character more than the Witcher, which would be fine, but it's like I just like I'm more interested in The Witcher. I like the action, I like the sorcery, I like his evolution as a character over the course of the show, where he's like because he has this one this bard called Jaskier, who a lot of people like. I'll say a lot of people have a problem with this bard. He has a song called "Toss a Coin to Your Witcher," and people hate that song. I don't hate it. I don't love it at the same time, but it didn't annoy me. I guess because it's being overplayed or whatever. But part of his Geralt's character development is learning to like trust people or let people in. Because once again, he's so used to being rejected by society. But part of his character arc is like learning to give a damn, like have friends or whatever. Another part of it is like it's about destiny. Destiny is definitely one of the themes of this show. But yeah, it's just really weird that these B plots were fighting the A plot for dominance. That's how I feel like they were fighting the A plot for dominance. And it made me like, okay, is this show about? I mean, I found it weird. I felt like that there was just too much. Another issue I had with The Witcher is it drags. Sometimes the pacing is good and it speeds up, or it's like nice and smooth. And other points it drags. Like I remember during episode 2, halfway through episode 2, I was like, I feel so bored. This is just dragging so much. And I think that's the problem, because they're trying to do so much with these multiple plots, and the fact they're fighting they're fighting the A plot to be that it could drag certain things out between them, these plots. I got halfway through episode 2 and I felt really bored and I just stopped watching. I didn't come back to the series till like a few days later, and when I came back to it, it eventually started to pick up, but it still had its points where it dragged. And I think I've heard that's also a problem that other people have had. That definitely drags. I know another person who like made it to episode 3 and they said they're done with it. That's definitely a problem with the series. That one, the multiple plots are fighting each other for dominance, that it's definitely dragging in certain areas. When things are picking up, it's good. It's really good. But when things are like, okay, we get it. We get what's going on. Can we move along here? Can we move along here? No, we got to stay on this for a minute. All right, whatever. All right. We're getting into some spoiler section real quick, because there's like one major gripe I have to that it once again is about the plots fighting for dominance. Okay, Witcher season finale. The season finale, and much like The Mandalorian, it's only an 8-episode season. The final episode, the season finale, The Witcher, he is not the focus of it. He is not involved in the main events of the episode. The main events of the episode that the mages are coming together to stop this kingdom called Niflgaard, I think. I'm totally getting it wrong, but basically the kingdom that took out Princess Ciri's kingdom, and they're trying to take over the whole continent. The mages come together. There's this one place where if they can hold it and they can stop the army here, they can save the rest of the continent. Because if they don't stop them, the army's probably just going to wash over the rest of the continent, take it all out. But if they can stop him here, they can do it. The season finale is all about Yennefer, which once again, Yennefer is a good character and her actress is playing the part well. But it's like The Witcher is the subplot. He's the B plot. He's away from the main events. His subplot ends in a good place for his character, because it's like finally we get around to something that I was like, this should have happened. He finally meets up with Ciri, the princess. The whole season. She's trying to get to Geralt, and she finally gets to him at the end, at the very the last few minutes of the episode, which is this like nice relief, and it's like, oh, they finally got together, but just felt like they should have met up earlier, which is whatever. But yeah, the whole episode is focused on Yennefer and the other mages coming together, fighting this army, and Yennefer has a really cool moment where she unleashes her full magical powers, and it's really cool, and it's really like kick ass, right? And we also get to see her talk to some of the other mages. Like the other mages that she went to like mage school with. Like I don't want to call it school, because it was like, hey, it weren't no fucking Hogwarts, people. It wasn't fucking Hogwarts. It was a rough and tumble mage upbringing. But she gets to reconnect with some of those people, and she gets to reconnect with the mage, the woman that made her turn her into a mage, and she has like mommy issues with her because she basically hates her and blames her for a lot of stuff. And they have a moment where they kind of reconcile a little bit, and that was nice. But I'm like, this is The Witcher. Why is he not involved in the main storyline? I found that very irritating. I was like, I kept expecting him to say, okay, he's gonna show up now and he's gonna help the mages and he's gonna like, wow, he's gonna swing that sword and take it out, motherfuckers. No, he's just kind of like he's off to the side the whole time. And he got his own thing where apparently like I think his mom was a mage. We find a little bit of his backstory, or she abandoned him or something. I was like, okay, why is he not involved in the big battle? He should be involved. So I don't know if this is something from the books, and if this is how it was in the books, and then they're trying to stay true to it, or the games or whatever. I get that, but I don't know. It didn't translate in an entertaining way for me. I found it frustrating. It was like, why is The Witcher not involved? It just feels like at some point in the production they wanted Yennefer, which once again she could have her own spin-off show. It'd probably be great. She's a well-developed character, but the show's called The Witcher. Anyway, so let's get out of spoiler section now. All right, that's all I really had to say there about that. So, The Witcher. Is it as bad as a lot of critics have making it out to be? If you go on Rotten Tomatoes, the score for The Witcher is rotten. It's in the green, but the audience score is very high. In fact, let's go to it right now. I wasn't originally going to do this, but let's go to it right now. All right, The Witcher. Let's get into this. All right. Yeah. So, oh no, it's gone up a little bit. Okay, so it's gone up a little bit since the last time I checked it. So the tomato score is 61% with an average rating of 5.63 out of 10, which basically means it's really 56% in my, because I always go by the actual average rating. Audience score is a 93%, which is an average rating of 4.6 out of 5, which is around the 90%. So yeah, audiences seem to be really loving the show, where critics are like either think it's crap or it's okay at best. For me, yeah, it's not a crap show, but it's not this big masterpiece. I think a lot of people with the ending of Game of Thrones are craving their new, like people are looking at this to be the new Game of Thrones. It's sword and sorcery. There's political elements to it. But yeah, I like the show. I just didn't like it a lot. I'll recommend you go check it out, but don't expect it to be like huge. Like if you're into sword and sorcery stuff, if you're a fan of the Witcher books in the game, you might like this. You might get more out of it because you know stuff about these characters that I don't, or you understand the world better than I do. But overall, yeah, The Witcher did not impress me that much. I liked it. I will be checking out season 2. But I will be checking out season 2, hoping for improvements. And if it doesn't improve, I'll probably stop watching the series. Yeah, I mean Henry Cavill is under contract for I believe for at least 4 seasons. So we'll see how that goes for him. Once again, I want to see him prosper because I think he was done dirty when it came to his Superman movies. Anyway, that's just how I feel about that. Hey everybody, hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to see a full episode, I live stream over on Facebook. And of course, don't forget to click subscribe and check out some more videos.